I have with me here Captain Smollett from the Paddling and Night Relics from the Aeronautical Knights. And I'm going to ask you guys just a couple questions here before we go into this game. Smollett, uh, the paddling, the paddling in particular, they're known for their their rigorous training process, and I mean really all the duck teams are. Have you been doing anything special, I guess, leading up to this match against AK?
Well, I think I sort of do the same thing that I do for any team. We've been watching their Sunday Rumble videos. We kind of see what they take. We scout them out and check out their styles and play style and just try to prepare for that. And at the same time, for all of Anvalan conflict, I'm preparing 3 builds right now for the whole tournament, and may add a fourth if it looks like we might need one going forward. So we try to get as prepared as possible, especially when you have best 2 out of 3s. You know, you're gonna have a lot of chip change-ups and everything, so you always want to be prepped for it.
Alright, in Night Relics, I mean, going up against the team who's historically been the most successful in the Goyo competitive scene, do you guys maybe have a like a trick up your sleeve you're planning to pulling out, or just maybe going for a straight up solid game?
We're pretty much gonna give it our all. We had a lot of trouble scheduling for tonight, and our team's kind of pretty mixed matched as far as we have 2 teams, one that competes and does scrimmages on Saturdays, and one that competes in the Rumble on Sundays. And we've really just had to mash the 2 teams together as best we can for tonight's match, just simply because of the time. So it's definitely going to be interesting. It's not going to be what you would usually see in an AK match, simply because it's not all the same people. We have one person coming in who's relatively new to the clan and whatnot. So it should definitely at least be interesting to see.
Alright.
I just have to say, Relics, I feel your pain. I'm running 3 subs tonight also. This was oddly difficult to schedule, so we appreciate you being flexible with that scheduling for us too.
Alright, and Small, do you have anything to say to your opponent or the audience before we get this started?
Yeah, have fun. Hopefully it's a good match.
And Relics?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely have fun, and I hope this definitely gives people something to see, at least.
Alright, and with that, let's get this going.
Hello and welcome to the Anvalan Conflict 4th series. I am Papa Paradox, joined today by Frogger. And
Good
we're
evening,
gonna
folks.
start running down these builds. We have a Knight's Lance, Rocking Gap Mortar, Carronade Flare left. That is becoming a more and more popular build every time I look. And a Knight's Armor with dual Carronade right side and Artemis double watch on the left with a mine complement on the back.
All right. Yeah, we got shots going down from the Quack Attack here. Quack Attack is Smollett's new ship. It has a front and left side Artemis. Carronade complementing that Artemis on the left. Gat Mortar right side. And we have the Lucky Duck, the Dread Lucky Duck, with a Lumberjack flak left, a Hades light gun on the left, which is new for them, and then a Carronade Hwacha right side and a Flare rear, as is standard for Squash.
Funny, because earlier in the day I was talking about that Hades cannon and whether we would start seeing it on the left sides of gallons, and sure as shit, the second match I have to cast today, there's Squash rocking it. Bad ram on the red team there.
Yeah,
Rocking a Knight's Lance.
little friendly scrub there. Red team is not in a good position here, being subjected to the dual fires here of Nubs and Zemko. Knight's Lance's balloon is already down. Hull is armor's about half health. Waiting for that armor to go there, however, that is not forthcoming. So Zemko is not going to have a shot with that heavy flak for a few moments yet.
A Knight's Armor was using its right side, its weaker side. A Knight's Lance had its right side turned to no weapons, and sure as shit, they get torn apart by the combined sniping abilities of the paddling.
It's a pretty common situation you see against players who are fighting the paddling. You really just can't afford to sit out in those arcs like that. It looked like they were trying to go around the Leviathan there for that first engage, which would have been a good idea, but I think they just couldn't get there quickly enough, and the long guns of Lucky Duck dropped them pretty quickly.
Yep, Knight's Lance getting a kind of obscure spawn behind the blue team, but at this point, he has no one still in the engagement.
Yeah. Really, really nasty. Nubs and Zemko are both 2 of the better gunners in the game, and if you're caught out in the open subject to those fires, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So
fairly convenient spawns for red team. They can still meet up, shake some spots in the clouds, but I don't think we haven't seen a reaction from the Ducks yet.
Knight's Lance is spotted, so I expect the Lucky Duck to put its long guns there on that target as soon as it can. However, I think Knight's Lance popped into that cloud there to the north of the paddling's position and dropped the spot. So I think at this point, the Knights are hiding out, licking their wounds. However, it looks like Knight is poking out there.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. He should have just tried to shake the spot and, stay hidden. But now he is spotted, and he's going to start taking a lot of sniper fire from the combined force of the paddling. Not something you want to subject yourself to.
Certainly
Again,
not.
This is another Sunday Rumble team starting to face some of the more veteran players of Goyo.
Yeah, well, the paddling are extremely tough nuts to crack, and it really takes a lot of decisiveness, I think, to handle them. Because they will tear you up from a very long range, which means you either have to get in close and close that arm time, or you have to use some kind of creative use of clouds and terrain, which I think, at least in the case of terrain on Battle on the Dunes, that's very difficult to do, since you only really have the Leviathan. So it's up to cloud use.
That's very true. Knight's Armor sustaining a couple disables on his boat. As you said, indecision will kill you against the paddling. You can't afford to be indecisive at all. He's got 2 watches, and if he tries to outsnipe them, he's gonna be wrong.
Yeah, and it looks like that is what they're trying to do there. I really feel like the paddling is positioned well outside the watch's effective range, at least for what the Knight's Armor is packing. Quack Attack is managing to put some solid gat fire there on the Knight's Lance. Good focus fire. Bit of a watch barrage going in there at the Quack Attack, but I don't think that was heavy clip, so most of those shots scattered harmlessly. Quack Attack is still virtually unscathed, while Knight's Lance's armor is down, balloon fire. There comes a big, fat flak shot from Zemko, and Pyramidian's life is ended here.
And that along with that Pyramidian goes their only source of piercing damage, I believe, because they have an Artemis on that the Knight's Armor, so they're not
the Knight's
Armor
Armor
do a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, they're in a really sad state, both offensively and defensively here. As you said, they really don't have any piercing weapons with all watches plus an Artemis left side, so they're going to have a tremendous amount of difficulty bringing down the armor of the paddling ships. And you can see here that the Quack Attack is really laying into the Knight's Armor's components with the double Artemis setup.
Yeah, and that carronade just helping them descend right into those sound clouds to help the process along.
However, looks like the Knight's Lance is going to get the drop on the Quack Attack here, as the Quack Attack is occupied with the Knight's Armor.
He evaporates.
Knight's Lance is unfortunately, for the Knights, evaporated by the paddling. There was a bit of an overshoot there as well. I think that if the Knight's Lance had just sort of slammed it into reverse, gotten moonshine maybe 300 to 400 meters out, and gotten a solid firing position on the Quack Attack, they might have been able to do a little more damage than they did. However, I think the Lucky Duck just dropped them immediately. So
this is something we always talk about, the trade-off between ramming someone and potentially losing your arcs, or just sustaining fire and keeping your guns on them.
I don't fly Pyramidians very often, but I definitely tend to err on the side of caution. I think maybe 8 times out of 10, you're better off just keeping those arcs on them, trusting your gunners. Wow,
Armor
Knight's
already
Lance
down.
Yeah, Knight's Lance just getting melted there.
Yeah, just showing you how much DPS the paddling actually does put down. You cannot afford to
really
take damage until
really tough situation for the Knights here. And 5-0 victory for the paddling there.
So I think we need to see a bit of a build change from red team, maybe a little less explosive damage on that galleon, maybe switch it up to a carronade, something to just help that process along, maybe a lumberjack.
I agree. I feel like that galleon build was particularly ill-suited for this map, where so many of the engagements are going to be long range. Even with the added cloud cover, it's going to be a tough situation.
Hello and welcome to the second game in the paddling AK series. Starting running down the builds, we have a Knight's Dagger with a dual carronade front, Banshee Flare on the left, and a Knight's Lance, again with dual carronade front, Hades Cannon Mine Launcher on the left.
And for the paddling, we have the Stalwart Lucky Duck, piloted by Squash, with the traditional Lumberjack flak left side, with that new Hades there on the left side, light mount. And then we have the Hwacha carronade on the right, and Flare rear. Smollett, for this game, Smollett has switched back to the Dirty Duck, which is his normal Pyramidion rig here. I'm seeing a Gat mortar front, as he normally does, with the double Flare left side.
So, Captain Smollett opting to take a Pyramidion. I wonder if that was a choice because you saw 4 carronades on the other team.
I think that is quite likely the reason why. Junkers are extremely susceptible to carronades, as we all know. So I think once he saw those carronades, he decided it might be a better choice to break out the trusty Dirty Duck.
And I'm wondering if either of them decided to bring Drogue. Smollett did not. And Squash, nope.
Yeah, Squash normally goes as an engineer. That's kind of his latest tactic. And if you watch that ship, he's off the helm quite a bit, helping with Chemspring, I believe.
Well,
we have an engagement going on already.
Yep, Light's Lancer's taking a couple shots on the balloon area, but I don't know how the red team will be able to propagate using those carronades appropriately.
Yeah, they're really going to have to use terrain to their advantage to try to get a drop on the paddling here to try to avoid those long-range guns from the Lucky Duck. It looks like that's what they're trying to do here. However, most of their approaches from this angle are probably going to be
not a good idea.
Highly visible. So, looks like the Knight's Dagger
running in.
Knight's Dagger is running in under full kerosene there.
And
we're taking...
his armor's up for a surprising amount of time. I thought he would have been dead by the time he hit the building there. And there's a big flak shot, and everything's just raining in on him. A Knight's Lance trundling behind him.
Yeah, definitely not a very well-timed engagement there. I am surprised how long the Knight's Dagger has managed to remain alive throughout this engagement. I think he did manage to close the arm time on the flak of the Lucky Duck, and that probably contributed to that. Knight's Lance is in pretty good shape as it manages to get close in there. Hopefully, for the Knights, put in some carronade fire on the Lucky Duck, as we see.
And Lucky Duck's balloon is gone. He, of course, is not taking Drogue Shoot, as I said.
Nope, I'm looking. Squash is off the helm on the balloon. Looks like the gunners of the Lucky Duck still have arc there, so they're still managing to put fire onto the Knight's Dagger. Hull of the Lucky Duck is down. However, the Knight's Lance was just dropped by the Dirty Duck, who's considered the shield of the sword and shield combo of the paddling. So Smollett fulfilling his duty there.
Funny that you wouldn't consider the galleon the shield. I just find that.
Yeah, well, I mean that's typically, not to divulge paddling secrets, but I think that's kind of how they conceive of their strategy here. I mean, the Lucky Duck, you can see, really puts down an overwhelming amount of coordinated firepower with the Lumberjack and Hades stripping that armor, and very, very well-timed flak shots from either Moriarty, who is their typical flak gunner, or Zemko here, who we see is subbing in.
So we saw that it's pretty easy to try and take the Lucky Duck out of the fight with the carronade, but getting close enough to them where you get in that position is difficult.
Very difficult.
You have Dirty Duck laying into you. You have the Lucky Duck laying into you. So
yeah,
by the time they get to that position, they're at such a disadvantage that
See here, I'm really not sure what they're trying to do here. I think that they're under the impression that lateral motion across the Lucky Duck's guns will. That's Zemko on a flak. Going sideways will not save you against the Lucky Duck's gunners. They are highly trained, and they're just nasty. They're just really nasty. Not to be Doug biased, but my God, they're nasty. I've fought him more than a few times, but
I didn't even see his whole health go down. I just saw him explode.
Yeah. Knight's
Knight's
Lance.
Lance.
Not in a very good situation here. Panicking, trying to backpedal. Armor just went down. Here come the flak shots. Ooh, a miss there from Zemko. 2 misses, but did not matter because I believe that is, yep, Mr. Aero Capital Fellow is there.
Slipping now. And Knight's Dagger just meat grinding to the nth degree.
Yeah, oh boy, not a good situation for the Knight's Dagger here. Trying to take a look at some of the fire damage that's being laid down by that the Hades from the Lucky Duck. In one of the early engagements, I saw as large as a 9 stack on one of the Aeronautical Knight's hulls. I'm guessing that was entirely from the Hades, and if that's the case, man, that's a lot to contend with. Very, very difficult to see a 2 stack after those hits. 1, yeah, up to a 6 there.
Beautiful, beautiful coordinated fire from the Flak Lumberjack, and he is in the building, and he is
still going.
Futilely
He's still going. He's got a little crack he could slip into there. We'll see if his engines are in good enough condition to actually